Hey guys, so I'm Troy Meeder. It's nice to meet you, nice to have you here. And I'm one of the founders of Crystal Peaks Youth Ranch and also a captain and a guide at the South Oregon coast. And we run a 2750 Ultra Centrecab Stabicraft. We love it. And it's just good to have you with us today.
So I'm Kim Meeder and I am Troy's wife. We've been married for 40 years. And he's the captain and I get to be the bait girl and the one in the back hovering over that bait station, putting all the gooey chewies on for everybody, and it's my delight to do. I love it so much.
She's the one that catches all the fish. in the state of Oregon, most people know about the west side that's big trees and lots of water and rivers and things. The majority of the state is actually high desert, and that's where we're at. We're in a little town called Bend, not little anymore. And the ranch has been built about 8 miles outside of Bend. And we're in what's considered a rain shadow of what you see back there. And it's just beautiful, high desert, dry, high altitude, wonderful clean air. We love it here.
And so Troy and I moved to Oregon 40 years ago, and we bought the only piece of property that we could afford. And we bought a piece of property that was so destroyed, nobody else wanted it. It had no trees, no grass, no dirt. It was being mined for cinders, which is basically what we're sitting on here, to crush and put on the road. We started filling it with all these broken trees that nobody wanted. They were the wrong type or the wrong shape, had been burned in a fire. And all the buildings were made from scraps of lumber, and we would go pick up all the bent nails at construction sites and pound them straight. And the whole ranch is built out of redemption of things that were thrown away. And now Stabicraft has entered our life, and that's becoming another part of how we get to serve children and families that would never have opportunity to go out on the ocean in a boat like this. And it is just one of our greatest joys that we get to do together.
As a captain, you know, that take families out on that an incredible platform of a boat. We're safe, we're secure.
Right.
We can six or 7 or 8 people on the boat with us and just go chase fish and do something they never could do. We never charge people, we just say, hey, let's go. And we just go fishing, it's awesome. It was weird to go from fiberglass to aluminum. It's different, it's colder, but certainly a whole lot tougher. She was the one that, we bought our last boat, our last tub, and she said, no, we want to get one of these Stabicrafts. I thought, no, they're kind of funny looking, until I saw one on the water. And then I thought, it's just a predator looking thing. They're just awesome. And so it's been fun to make the change.
And so we can be in an environment that can change very quickly and be very dangerous. And Troy and I have been present when others on other boats didn't survive. And so Stabicraft is a thing for us because we've seen the lack of protection for those who didn't have something when they needed it the most. So we knew that we were making the transition from tidewater river fishing to ocean fishing. And I have had the joy of fishing a great deal in Alaska and what's going on up there and the water and wind conditions and knowing what's safe and what's not. And to go out and recognize how quickly things change and that you need an enclosed cab to keep people safe. And also you need greater buoyancy and an enclosed boat to keep everyone safe.
So we have a Stabicraft 2750 Ultra Centrecab. We had looked at other models that Staby had, but I thought, you know, if we're going to go big, let's go big. And to get the biggest platform we could find. We saw some videos that you guys had done of that boat and thought, man, that's just a beautiful machine. Certainly the size, the width of the boat, the depth of the boat, the girdle that goes around it. We had that filled with foam. We actually paid the extra money to put a diesel heater on it, and the U-decking. We fit the boat really well with the things we wanted. We got that green and it was wonderful. It was a color that we had on our boat, our previous boat. It was a custom color, and I remember we saw that previous boat on an ad and thought, man, that's beautiful green, we love that. And so I contacted Stabicraft and asked if they could do that custom green, and they were so great to say, yeah, send us the code and we'll figure it out. We've had the boat fit with a couple of Yamaha 200s. Highly recommend those. I mean, we were thinking the 150s. but that 200 is just a great motor. There's a throttle response about midway through that really gets you out of trouble if you need it right away. Super quick on the throttle. A 9.9 high thrust kicker motor for salmon fishing. We've had the Simrad gear, which I love the Simrad. Went back and forth between. Garmin's great. There's a bunch of great gear, but I love the Simrad. There's so much that you can do with it. We have the UHF radio, then I also have a pocket radio that goes with me. We're always in touch with the Coast Guard. And of course, the sound system's great. You can play your own music through your phone, and the storage and just the quality. Those air ride seats, doggone, those things are so nice, because we've always had air ride seats, or at least a seat like that on our other boats. But this thing is off the chain, really, really good, really strong. I love the roller that comes back so you can stand at the helm if you want to, if you're going through big water. We've never taken water over the bow, but we've taken water in the sides and such, and it just scuppers out, no big deal. The 360 view, you can, and the forward raking windscreen, so nice.
I love two things. I get to stand and do bait in this amazing station where before I was kneeling on the floor for years, kneeling on the floor. So the bait station and the drawer and everything is right here, and this is my office and my space, and I know where everything is.
And man, don't get in her space.
Right, this is my world, don't mess it up. You don't catch fish when your gear's not in the water. And so that helps me get the gear in the water very quickly. But I think my favorite feature is the walk around.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than fishing from the bow, that you're up high and you can see all the wildlife and the fish in the water and the whales, and that there's so much that comes up. And up in that high position, you get to see it. And it just thrills my heart, because it's the ocean and you never know what you're going to experience. It's like being on a safari every day. So I love the walk around.
So there's a lake in Central Oregon called Lake Billy Chinook. We're 200 or so miles from the coast at this location, and so took the boys out to Lake Billy Chinook, and it's awesome because you're driving through farmland. You come across the top of this flat top, and then you drop down into what is a huge lake, and it's the Crooked River, Deschutes River, and Metolius River that all come together with a big dam, and it's called Lake Billy Chinook. And we were going after kokanee, which is landlocked sockeye salmon. And I told the guys, I said, listen, they're little, they're about this big, but when they're going off, it's really fun. It's like popcorn. They're coming out of the water, and we throw a jig in with a little grub on it, and all you got to do is jig, and they're on, and they're on super quickly. They have really soft mouths, so you have to be very careful when you bring them in, but you can catch 10 or 15 or 20 just like that. It's super fun. If you clean them up, you can smoke them, and they're really good. It's just that delicious red salmon meat on a little tiny body, but they're landlocked. It's kind of cool.